Hi guys, Peter here once again. Thanks for joining me on the channel. Right, I thought I'd do a little bit of a mini series. Do you remember that video I put out a couple of weeks ago? It was called something like 20 do's and don'ts in Thai go-go bars. That video went down particularly well. People enjoyed that, especially guys who have never been to Thailand before. Somebody wrote me a comment and said, what's the point of making videos like this? It's going to be a long time before we can get back to Thailand. But I wrote back and said, look, you know, Thailand's not going to be closed for 100 years, is it? Eventually people will start to go out there again, and a lot of them are guys who have never been there before. So I thought I'd follow that one up with another one today, and the title of today's video is 20 common lies that bar girls or go-go dancers will tell you. So I've always assumed that most of the guys who watch this channel have been to Thailand before, but apparently there's a lot of guys who are planning or they'd like to go out to Thailand. They've never been there before, and that's why that video went down quite well, because they watched that, they learned a lot, and I got the feedback. Basically people said they liked it. So I'm following up that video with this video. I've just from memory 20 lies. Friends have told me about these as well. So it's 20 lies, common lies that bar girls will tell you and go-go dancers, and let's just read them out, and I'll translate what their lie is. So the first one is kind of a white lie. It's not really a serious lie, but it's just more or less to let you know. And that is, they'll never really tell you their real names. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, they understand most foreigners can't pronounce their names. They're quite long. And the other thing is, most of the girls who work in the bars, they go by nicknames. So you know, they're just abbreviated short nicknames, and all the girls' names have meanings, nice meanings as well. People just can't, you know, they just can't say them a lot of the time, so nicknames are easier. So that's just kicked us off. That's our first lie, but a white lie, as I say. Right, let's get into the serious ones. Number two, a lot of the girls will often lie about their age. That's not just in Thailand, that's anywhere you go. It's obvious why. Asians look younger anyway, so if you you know, you can be speaking to a 38-year-old Thai lady and she could tell you she's 28, and you've got no reason to doubt it, and there's no way to really find out. But that's a common lie. They'll just lie about their age, and that's for obvious reasons. You know, if she says she's 28 instead of 38, then obviously she'll come across as more attractive to you. Okay. Number three, this one isn't quite so obvious. This lie is, you ask her, you know, you're engaged in conversation, say, how long have you worked in the bar? And she'll tell you, I've just started working this bar today. I've never worked in a bar before. I just started. I've come from my village and it's my first night. I'm learning the ropes. Maybe not quite as good as English as that, but that's basically what she's telling you. And the reason she tells you that is because if somebody's inexperienced, they go into that bar, they know what it's all about. But if they get speaking to this girl and she comes across as a little bit innocent and she tells you, I've just started working in this bar tonight, then obviously that's going to be very appealing to you, because you're going to feel like, you know, she's not been out with any customers before. You're her first friend, as it were. And that's the reason they'll very often say that. Number four, it's a very similar, she'll lie about how long she's worked in the bar. So she'll say, well, it's similar to the one I've just read out, actually. She'll say, I've been here for a week. Because if, you know, if she said, I've been working here 2 years, it's a little bit off-putting, isn't it? When you think, you know, how many people visit that bar. So if she's been there 2 years, she'll say, you know, I've just started work for a week. And again, that makes her more appealing to any guy who's thinking of hooking up with her, as it were. Number five on our list is, she'll say to you, and it's very similar again, she'll say, I've never been out with a customer. I just work in the bar for drinks. I get commission on the drinks. And, you know, the reason she'll tell you that is because if you really like her and you get talking to her, and eventually you'll say to her, look, you know, I'd like to pay a bar fine and take you out. You know, she's already sort of said to you, I've never been with anybody before. I've never been bar fined. I only work for the drinks. So again, it's very she appears to be very appealing to you, because you think you're the first guy to actually take her out of the bar. So again, very common lie. Number six, she'll tell you she doesn't have a boyfriend. Again, it's simple. If you, some guys will go there for a month, they'll take a girl from a bar, they end up falling in love with a girl. And I remember in a go-go bar that my friend owned once, a long time ago, I used to speak to the girls in there because they knew I wasn't interested. I used to go in there and drink with my friend. And one of the girls actually said to me, she says, you know, she said, if we can make guys fall in love with us, then it's a lot easier to get money out of them. She actually told me that. So the reason they'll tell you that they don't have a boyfriend is if you go there for a month, you're naive, you don't know how it all works, and you really like her, you take her out on a date 2 or 3 times, in the back of your mind, she hasn't got a boyfriend, you've got your Western ways of thinking, and who knows, you might want to make her your girlfriend, but so you know she doesn't have she's told you she hasn't got a boyfriend, but they all have boyfriends, and most of the time it's a Thai guy in the background. Most of the Thai girls who work in the entertainment industry, they'll have a Thai boyfriend in the background, and a lot of the time they don't care. They're just, you know, as long as they get money passed over to them, they really don't give a damn. Okay, so that leads us quite nicely into number 7. She'll tell you that she doesn't like dating Thai men, and the reason for telling you that is because that'll put some guys off if you think she's got a Thai boyfriend or she's regular dating Thai guys. It might put some guys off, and they're very clever. They know they know how Western minds tick. They know what buttons to press to get the right kind of mood going, as it were. So that's another one not quite so obvious. Number 8, she'll tell you that she hasn't got any children. She's never been married, she hasn't got any children, she's single, and the reason for that is because they know that a lot of guys out there, they've come out of failed marriages, divorces, and they've been married to women, had children, and when they go out there, they want to meet pretty girls who haven't had children. I'll try and keep it clean for YouTube, but you know what I mean. And that's why they'll say that I've never had any children. And the other reason, of course, is if it's a long-term visit to Thailand, somebody who goes there as an expat, he ends up working there, he ends up dating a girl from the bar, he might make that girl his girlfriend, that might go on to marriage, who knows. But if she's already had children, then that's not quite it's not quite a prospect for you, is it? It's more appealing to marry somebody or to have a date with a girl, a long-term relationship with a girl who hasn't had any children. So that's why she'll tell you she hasn't had any children. Okay, the next one is when you've paid her bar fine. So you've been in the bar, the go-go bar, whatever, you've been talking to her, you've had drinks with her, you've decided you'd like her to join you in your hotel to continue drinking. You pay the bar fine. If you don't know what a bar fine is, you pay money to the bar to compensate them to take the girl out of the bar. That's the bar fine. Any other transactions between you and the girl. So you've paid the bar fine, you've got back to your hotel, and suddenly she feels really unwell. Not overly sick, but she puts it on a bit. The Oscars are coming out now. She puts on this act that she's, feeling quite unwell. She's got maybe her tummy's a bit upset, or she has to keep going to the toilet. And the reason for that is a 50-50 ploy, because what happens, you get the white knights who will, if they think she's ill, they'll say, oh, no problem, just lay down, take a rest, I'll get you a drink, and they'll spend the night talking to them and let them sleep, and then they've had an easy night, haven't they? If the guy's a seasoned traveller and he says, well, fine, I'll take you back to the bar and get my bar fine back, then she'll change her attitude completely. But that's why, sometimes they'll pretend they feel a little bit ill, and if she's lucky, the guy's inexperienced, he'll let her rest. Okay. Right, number 10, quite a common one. She'll tell you stories more than lies. They are lies, but they're stories, and it's anything from her mother's sick to her brother needs money to go to school, the mother needs money for medicine. There's all sorts of reasons. They're so they come up with some real good stories these days. In the old days, it was the buffalo was sick. That's quite a joke now. But they'll try, they're out with you and they'll try and extract more cash from you. And obviously they know they've got thousands of victims under their belt. So they're very good at what they do, guys. And if they get somebody who, they know he's just arrived in Thailand, he's never been here before, they'll play it quite strongly. They'll say, look, my mother's ill and I have to work extra hard because it's 5,000 baht for the medicine. I come from a poor family. And a white knight, he'll just pay the 5,000, say, send that to your mother. Well, inside she's laughing because she's just had a bonus payday, hasn't she? She had 5,000 baht and there's nothing going back to her family. So that is one of the most common ones that you'll hear. Okay, number 11. So let's take the scenario. You've been into the bar, you met this girl, you had a drink with her and you didn't take her out, but you said, look, I'll tell you what, I'll probably come back and see you tomorrow. And you do decide to go back and see her and you think, well, tonight I'm going to bar find her, I'm going to take her out for drinks, play pool, whatever like that. You go back and she's not in the bar. And she did tell you the first night you met her, she doesn't have any days off this week, so she should be in the bar every night and she'll be waiting to see you when you go in to visit her. And you go in and she's not there, so you decide to sit down and have a drink. 10 minutes later, she walks through the door and she tells you, oh, I was hungry, I went out of the bar to eat. Well, they're not allowed to do that. If they work for the bar, they all eat together normally before the bar opens, quite early, sort of 4 or 5 o'clock. They'll all gather up, change into whatever they're going to dance in. Or if they're in a beer bar, they'll just eat the food around a table. Then they start work and they're not permitted to leave their workplace because they're on a small salary as well. And the reason she's gone out is only for one reason. She's been bar fined before you walked in, and that's her just coming back after her session with that guy. All right, number 12. So you're with a girl, you've been with her for a few days, maybe she's a holiday girlfriend, you ring her and she's just not picking up the phone, constant ringing, no answer. She eventually calls you back probably after 3 or 4 hours and she gives you the excuse. She says, oh, my phone ran out of battery, there was no power, I didn't know you called me. I charged my phone and as soon as I switched it on, I see I've got a missed call from you, so I've called you back immediately. The reason that's a lie is because what's happened, she's been with somebody she already knows, either a boyfriend or a short-time boyfriend, if you get my drift, and she had to turn her phone off because obviously she can't take any phone calls. So if you do hook up with a girl for a few days or a holiday girlfriend and she tells you, you try to phone her, you can't get hold of her, and she says her phone had no battery, you know what's happened. The other favourite ones is there's no signal, but they can't use that one so much now because the 4G, 5G, whatever it is now, they use all over Thailand. Most places you can get a pretty good signal. It's actually faster than the UK, the internet, the broadband and what have you. And the classic one is I dropped my phone into water or into the toilet or something like that. That gives him the excuse to disappear for 3 or 4 days then because they had to get the phone repaired. Okay, they weren't on the list, just throwing them in on the top of this one. Okay, number 13, unlucky for some. So you're in a relationship with a girl. This is more for guys who have gotten into a relationship. So she'll say, look, my phone's very old. I don't get a good signal and it's, I want to call you, I can't get hold of you. And she keeps telling you about how bad her phone is. The reason for that is she's hoping that you'll turn around and say, look, I'll tell you what, let me buy you a decent phone. Inside, she'll be smiling like a Cheshire cat. It will be straight to the mall and she'll want the best phone that they've got on sale, an iPhone or the latest Samsung. And some guys actually go ahead and do that. And again, they're laughing all the way to the bank, as it were. Number 14, she'll keep telling you you're a handsome man. It doesn't matter. You could be 65, have a pot belly on you, be the most ugliest man Bangkok's ever seen, but you'll be a handsome man in her eyes because she knows it strokes your ego if she's telling you you're a handsome man. When's the last time you heard that? And you'll hear that very, very often. It's actually become a joke now amongst the guys that you walk along the beach road and Pattaya and that's all you'll hear. Handsome man, come into my bar. Right. Number 15, we're 3/4 of a way through now, is they'll tell you, I don't like young guys, I only like older guys. And the reason they tell you that one is because it makes you feel a little bit special. If you're an older guy and this girl's saying, look, I don't like young guys, you might be thinking to yourself, well, here's this girl, she's 30, I'm 65, why is she with me? Okay, we know why she's with you initially, but she's showing me a lot of affection. She appears genuine. It looks like she really likes me. Why is that? And she's telling you, I don't like young men. Well, it kind of makes sense then, doesn't it? You think, oh, well, maybe, yeah, she likes me because she doesn't like young men and we're getting on well. So, if a girl ever says to you, I don't like young men, it's total rubbish. It's true that they prefer not to go with the younger guys for obvious reasons. I'll try and keep it clean. I once had a girl tell me that she didn't, this is when in my friend's bar again, so there's no need for her to BS with me because I wasn't a customer, I was just drinking there. But she told me years ago, she told me that she didn't like to go out with young guys as much as with older guys, because with a young guy, she'd be up all night, if you get my meaning, and sometimes it was very, very difficult to get money out of them. And a lot of the younger guys just didn't offer to pay money because their attitude was, well, I don't pay back home. You know, I thought you liked me. Why should I pay? And it ends up ugly. With the old guys, they know it's very quickly over if it happens at all. A lot of the older guys, they just want a bit of company. They always pay up without too much fuss, and they always get a nice tip. This is what one of the Thai girls told me. So that part of it is true. Okay, number 16, you have a good heart, I like. And the reason they say that, again, they're just trying to get that feeling going. They want you to fall in love with them and, you know, to really like them. They're special, because it's a lot of guys will go there with the intention they're going to take a girl from a bar every night for 7 nights. But, you know, when a girl strokes your ego this way, you know, you're a handsome man, I don't like young guys, you know, you have a good heart, then somebody who's not experienced are going to be more inclined to think, you know what, I think I'm going to stick the holiday out with this girl because she's really nice and she really appears to like me. So again, it's most of the time it's rubbish, especially if you met her in a bar. Number 17, right? So you're walking along Sukhumvit, for instance, or the beach road in Pattaya. You're with this girl, and maybe again she's a holiday girlfriend. You think she really likes you. You really like her. All of a sudden, another guy, American, Australian, English, something like European, walks towards you and starts talking to her. She talks to him, but you can see she's a little bit nervous. She wants to get away, but she's polite and she says hi. Of course, when you walk off, you're like, well, what the heck's going on there? Who's that guy? Well, she's not going to turn around and say, well, he's a regular customer of mine. I go around to his apartment twice a week. So what she'll say is, oh, he's the boyfriend of one of my friends, and we all went out to eat once. They invited me. So this guy with my friend went out to eat. I was on my own. They invited me with. That's how I know him. So I have to say hello to him. So if that ever happens, it is definitely a lie. Okay. Right. I've seen this a lot. This is terrible, really. I shouldn't laugh. What will happen, you'll get a guy goes to Pattaya, he meets a girl, he's there for maybe 2-3 weeks, and second night he thinks, I like this girl, I'll make him my holiday girlfriend. And by about the 6th night, when the girl feels very secure, safe, this guy's got his, you know, she's got a clause into this guy, he's not going to go anywhere else. Suddenly they'll arrange to meet for dinner. The girl won't say anything to the guy, there'll be no warning, she won't say somebody else is coming along, but she'll turn up with a Thai guy and she'll say, oh, this is my brother. And, you know, you're like, oh, okay, your brother. And he'll sit down and the whole three of you are eating and you pay the bill, of course. Well, all of the time, not most of the time, that isn't the brother. That's her Thai boyfriend or a Thai husband. So you're sitting with her husband or boyfriend, and you're buying him dinner. So if you're ever going to dinner with your partner or girlfriend, whatever it is, and a Thai guy turns up, just walk away, you know, make an excuse and just don't go back. It's definitely not a brother, guys. Okay, we've got 2 left. Okay, so sometimes they'll come out with lies like, you'll be with a girl for a while and she'll say something like, you know, I don't really like working in the bars. I want to go on a massage course, you know, learn to do body massage, and then I can earn legitimate money, and, you know, I don't have to go off every night. And or she'll say something like, you know, I didn't finish my school, I have to work in the bars, I can't really get a good job because I'm not educated, factories don't pay well, if I could go back to school and finish my education, I could get a decent job, I wouldn't have to work in the bar. And the reason they tell you these stories, again, they're trying every angle for the sympathy, to get the sympathy so that you'll feel sorry for them and you'll offer that money. So by saying I want to go on a massage course or I want to go back to school, your first question, if you don't know what's going on, you'll say, well, how much would that cost? And I knew of one scenario, one story, I read it out on the channel where the girl said, well, it's 30,000 baht to go on the massage course. Once I finish the course, I'm qualified, and then, you know, I can earn money legitimately. The guy, he was a decent guy, but he was naive. He gave her the 30,000 baht. Of course, that went straight in her bank, as it were, wherever she keeps her money, and she didn't go on any massage course. So that was 30,000 baht for nothing he lost. Not the end of the world, but 30,000 baht, you can do a lot with that in Thailand. It's not worth sort of giving it away. And our last lie, I'm sure there's many more I'll remember once I finish this video, but the last lie, you'll arrange to meet her for dinner or at some particular market or location, and she'll be very, very late, and you'll say to her, why are you late? And she'll say, oh, you know, Tilak, the traffic was so bad. It was so bad that, you know, I couldn't get, the taxi couldn't move, or the Sky train, it was full, I had to wait for another one. And all it means, she's been with somebody else. It went on a bit longer than she expected. She's panicked. She's got to you in the end, but she's had to save face and cover that up. And that's the best one she can say. If anybody's ever late in Bangkok for whatever reason, it's always a traffic. It's the best excuse in the world. The traffic's not as bad as it used to be. They've got the Sky train now, they've got the MRT, the underground system, but people still use it as an excuse. So there you go, guys. If you're a newbie and you're heading out to Thailand eventually when this horrible pandemic finishes, hopefully with the video I made last week, 2 weeks ago, and this one now, you should be armed and dangerous, as they say, and you shouldn't be so naive when you go out to Thailand. I might do one more. I've got another one planned to give you some more tips, but how I'd like to end this video is I would just like to say, when we talk about the bar girls and the go-go dancers and these lies and the Thai boyfriend and all the rest of it, as I've said in many, many videos in the past, I'm talking only about bar girls, go-go bars, girls, dancers, and girls who work in massage parlors. No, they're not bad girls. They're good fun. They're great holiday girlfriends. They do what they've got to do. They're a lot of fun, as I say, but they're not girlfriend material, okay? When I speak about these girls, it's all the girls in the entertainment industry who play these kind of games. If you're talking about normal, decent, respectable Thai women, of whom I know a lot, I know friends who are married to them. Simon's married to a Thai lady. They're very decent. They're very, they just wouldn't do, they wouldn't do this sort of thing. You know, normal, decent Thai women, they're shy. They wouldn't even go back to a room with you. They wouldn't hold hands in public. And in fact, even Thai to Thai, they don't show affection in public. You rarely will you see a Thai couple holding hands in public or even kissing. They just don't do it. It's frowned upon, and all that's done behind closed doors. So just, you know, for the guys who write in and say, oh, you know, you're speaking badly about Thai women, I'm not. I'm just saying, if you're going to Thailand for the first time on holiday and you go into a go-go bar and you hear these lies, at least you now know what the truth is. Okay, so I hope they help you, and as I say, I might do another one next week. I'll see how this one does. All right, that's it from me today, guys. Thanks for watching.